Welcome back to another episode of OverSoul Overland. And today, we found ourselves going up Old Cold Spring Road. It's a road that kind of crests the hill somewhere in the midst of Citico before you get to those last little bit of campsites. And since it was going up and there were some waterfalls around, we decided this was the path that we would take. It looked a little bit more scenic than some of the things we had begun to get accustomed to within the valley, and we decided we're going to try to go through the mountain. So as we crested this hill, we realized very quickly that you had to stop and look around because just like in life, many times we have a plan and sometimes we come across a closed gate. Yeah, so don't trust the website, folks. When we got to this gate, we realized it was closed. It was time to go to plan B, which is winging it. When you start winging it, you keep going. And as we started to go, we started to see the real beauty. It was like a perfect day for this. We come around this next bend, and you start to see things a lot more clearly. You start to see that you're really high up. We've started to climb in altitude quite a bit in less than a quarter mile, and things are looking promising, to say the least. The beauty of the trees around, it's like God is breathing new breath through the sky, into the trees and back again. It's just a collective sigh of awe that creation gives when you're up this high. And you best believe we were sighing right along with it. So, at about this point, we realized we gotta keep going. And the higher you get up here, something changes in you. Your breathing changes, your mindset changes, and you realize that many times when you're working towards your goal, towards your dream, towards your vision, this is what it feels like. You're climbing a mountain, and every time you look to your side, you get a burst of adrenaline because you see nothing like where you've been before. So in this episode of OverSoul Overland, enjoy the climb. As you can see, right about here, we start to get something beautiful happening. You start to really get the feel for the fog. Things start to change up on us a little bit, and it's gonna be an adventure. Visibility is low, and you can't help but think, man, what's gonna be around this next corner? I better slow down, or maybe I should shift gears, or maybe something needs to change. But again, we're just winging it. So we're going with the flow. We're listening to the wind. We're feeling the flutter of our heart. And we're going up higher and higher, closer to that goal. It's starting to feel like a real adventure now. And that's exactly what we signed up for. And we found, much like in life, that the mist and the fog of the mountains surround us when we're in the midst of making great decisions. When we're making those moves upward, sometimes we lose sight of where we've been and we lose sight of where we're going. And the trees stick out, the comments of the people closest to us, the thoughts and the doubts that follow us everywhere we go. They echo like dead or dormant trees in a peripheral vision, but we have to remember that there's a road, that we're going somewhere, and with it there's a great purpose in our going. There's a unique beauty when you're this high up. When you look off the edge, when you take a walk around and see what all is about you, you can't help but get excited. Your heart starts to beat as you start to feel success become more tangible. You can't help but wonder, is this where I'm gonna be today? Is this what all that preparation was for? It all comes full circle today on OverSoul Overland. other episodes, we've talked about the test, the trial, the tribulation, that refining moment of fire. But today, we talk about the uncertainty surrounding the work. It's nice to get all hyped up, to get that tingle down your spine, to get that refined energy, that enlightenment, that motivation. And then we get there. All of our action, all of our courage, all of that emotion is gone when we need it most. It's in that moment that we have to redefine who we are. That in the midst of uncertainty, we must apply the maximum effort. And that, my friends, is what faith is all about. As a newcomer to this overlanding thing, you can tell I'm pretty fixated on the off-road portion. The rough terrain, no cell service. The loudest thing is the creek or the river or the birds. You can even hear the trees sigh in the wind. It's so overwhelming, yet it's tranquil. Many times, oh so many times, when you're out here and you roll the window down, you can't hear a hospital, you can't see a siren, you don't see a building in sight. You just feel that rush of clean air, that refining moment that changes you. And that right there, in the midst of the fog, in the midst of the trees, and the ridges that seem to go higher and higher towards heaven, in that moment, you gotta figure out if your dream is more important than your temptation. The temptation is to pause and enjoy it where you are, to plateau up here, in the beauty of this new and wondrous place. The temptation is oh so real, the lust of the desires of the moment. It's overwhelming. It beseeches your animosity and says, hey, rest a while, stay put. Yeah, there's more road ahead, there's a destination, but you can't see it anyway. For me, it reminds me of some of those lessons I've learned more recently than not. That though these passions and desires may fall upon us, it is not a mantle to be held as some sort of prize, but rather a cloak that's to be shed as we enter into the new moment and the next journey. So, here we go again. Through the mist, around the bend, into something new and unknown. The looming trees start to wrap overhead, and even though we're getting higher, you can't help but think these trees are getting taller and taller, and the roots, those shallows, seem to affect the road a little bit more, and you start to feel like you're on an actual mountain here. And this is the moment where we really start to get into it. And you begin to enjoy the journey. And you begin to remember that, yes, this mantle is heavy. Yes, the uncertainty is exciting. But oh, how satisfying it is to be on top of the world, all of about an hour away from home. This is OverSoul Overland. And as we come around this next bend, I hope that you find your challenge, your uncertainty, and you dare to be bold and wear that mantle proudly, but be ready to let it go at the next door. Until next time.
go forward.
Oh wait, I almost forgot. If you've been enjoying this content, the unique cadence, the fun perspective, and a little bit of something irregular in this genre, please like, share, and subscribe. And tell your friends about the beauty of new adventures inside and out. Till next time, OverSoul Overland.